Hey people, welcome and welcome back to the channel. Today we are discussing what we should consider as poor parenting. These are the behaviors that can have a negative impact on children and can be harmful to their development. So there's this man who came out to ask the audience what they think or what you as a parent think it's bad parenting. So kindly watch the following videos. Of course, I'll be back to leave my own comment. Please stick around.
Immediately screams trashy parenting to you.
Parents that have kids when their kids were already taken from the system. Parents who don't tell their child that they have a disability and they keep that from them their whole life. Parents that don't take their kids to doctors because it's too expensive. Parents that don't do homework or related service provider practices with their child at home and you wonder why your kid is not progressing. Learning starts at the home. Having a kid to save your life. That's not how that works. Parents that say they gentle parent when they're really doing permissive parenting, learn the difference. Trashy parenting. Having kids when you cannot afford them. Having kids until you get a boy. Having a kid to save a marriage or relationship. Having a kid because you did not use protection when you are not in a financially stable place or right headspace to bring in a child to this world and you still do it anyway. People are like, oh, Nate, you support eugenics. It's like, no, I support common sense. Why would you be having kids if you cannot afford them? Why you keep trying for a boy when you have 3 beautiful girls? Like, people need to get a grip. Trashy parenting. Parents in poverty don't seem to understand this.
Well,
You
kindly
cannot be
share
a
your
good
thoughts in
parent
the
unless
comment
you have
section
money
below,
to provide
what
for your
you've
children.
experienced
And
or
that's
what
just
has
the
been before.
bare minimum. How are you going to take your child to the dentist or the doctor if they are not feeling well or for their yearly checkups?
Because for me,
How are you going to provide food if you can't even afford
boundaries
rent?
is a major
You realize
concern.
a
When
developing
parents don't
child
respect their
can't go
children's personal
without
space
meals like
and
an
anatomy,
adult can,
it can lead
right?
to
Children
unhealthy
shouldn't have to go through
relationships
poverty because
and
the
even a
parents
long-term
felt like
damage.
they're entitled to have a child.
Another
There are
issue
many people I
that
know
is
and many
going
people in
on
my comments
is
saying
the
that they
emotional
resent their parents for
manipulation,
having them while
using
they were
guilt,
in
anger,
poverty.
or
Because
self-pity
poverty
to
to
control
them was
children's
so traumatic
emotions
that they'd
and
rather
action
not
is
be
not
around
only
and go
harmful
through
but
it
also
than to
teaches
be in
them
this world. A
unhealthy
lot of you forget
coping
too
with
that when you grow up in
mechanisms.
poverty, you're more likely to be
Additionally,
bullied at
lack
school
of
because of the
accountability
lack
is
of
a
necessities
significant
that you have
problem
access
when
to. Like,
parents
for real,
constantly
how are you going to
make
bring a kid into this
excuses,
world if you have to
blame
decide between
others, or
food,
deny their
shelter, and gas
mistakes.
to get to
They can
work? Clearly, you are
teach
not in a
their
right
children
space
that
to be able to afford
accountability
a
is
child,
not
let alone
important.
provide for one. And people
Looking
in
at
poverty are very known
what
for
is going on,
parentification because
disrespect
they
and
can't often
rudeness
take time
towards
off of work, so they
others,
put the
including
biggest
teachers and the
responsibility on the
authority
oldest sibling to
figures,
continually look after their younger
is a
siblings that the
behavior that
parents
can
keep
have
having.
serious
And then people
consequences.
wonder why their
It's
children grow
essential.
up resenting them when they put all this responsibility on them and they make them grow up in poverty. Then the parents will feel like they owe them because they did their best. Sorry that your best was not enough. That clearly means that you shouldn't be parenting or having children. Like, be so for real.
What immediately screams trashy parenting to you?
When the absent parent has anything to say about the parent who has sacrificed everything to raise their kids and continues to blame them for why they are not in their life, why they don't do things to better themselves, and why they don't follow the court orders, can just wake up every day and feel okay about themselves knowing that they abandon their kids, they don't take care of their kids financially, emotionally, or in any way whatsoever. Still have the audacity to talk down to the parent who's doing everything to raise them.
What immediately screams trashy parenting to you?
So about 5 years ago, my daughter, she was in 8th grade, she's 13 years old. She says, hey, can my friend from school spend the night? I was like, yeah, sure, no problem. So she tells me, hey, Mom, my friend's almost here. I was like, okay, I'm going to go outside and meet her parents when they drop her off. So I'm walking outside. The girl gets out of the car. I'm like, hey, nice to meet you. And the car starts backing away. I'm like, oh, I was gonna talk to your dad real quick before he left. And she goes, oh, that's not my dad. It was an Uber. They sent her to a stranger's house to spend the night in an Uber with a strange man that they knew nothing about.
What immediately screams trashy parenting to you? Stitcher.
Y'all are definitely going to come for me in the comments for this one. But the parents who say, as long as they're not doing it at so-and-so's house and they're doing it at my house, I'm okay with it. No, because if you wouldn't be okay with it at someone else's house, why would you be okay with it in your house? No.
What immediately screams trashy parenting to you?
Soother's past a year. When mom decides to stop breastfeeding because she doesn't want to anymore, having to put your crying baby down because you're worried you might eat them, not following the guidelines on how much caffeine you can have when pregnant. I can't even do this. I've done all this shit.
What immediately screams trashy parenting to you? Stitcher comment.
Not having your kids vaxxed and then homeschooling them.
What immediately screams trashy parenting to you?
Janelle Evans. Is that the right answer?
What immediately screams trashy parenting to you? Stitcher comment.
Working as a server in the restaurant industry and letting your kids run around, hit their head against the wall, leave poop in the trash cans when they go in there together, leave Cheerios all over the floor and let them puke all over the table and they don't even clean it up and then they still don't tip you. That's trashy parenting to me.
First, disregarding boundaries is a major concern. When parents don't respect their children's personal space and anatomy, it can lead to unhealthy relationships and even a long-term damage. Another issue is emotional manipulation. Using guilt, anger, or self-pity to control children's emotions and action is not only harmful but teaches them unhealthy coping mechanisms. In addition to all this, lack of accountability is a very significant problem when parents consistently make excuses, blame others, or deny their own mistakes. They teach their children that accountability is not important. Furthermore, disrespect and rudeness towards others, including teachers and authority figures, is a behavior that can have serious consequences. It's also essential for parents to model respect and kindness towards others. Lastly, prioritizing personal interest above children's needs and well-being is significant concern for parents. Parents should prioritize their children's needs and provide a nurturing environment for them to thrive. As we conclude our today's discussion, these behaviors can have long negative effects on children. It's important for parents to be aware of these flags and make conscious efforts to model healthy behaviors to their children. Kindly share what you think in the comment section below. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this video. Thank you so much for being part of this conversation. See you in the next video and stay safe.